Welcome to A Court of Fairies and Fangirls. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is a Sarah J. Maas fan podcast where we are obsessed with her books and can't stop thinking about them or talking about them. So we figured, why not record us thinking and talking about it?
We're going to break down chapters, go through each book separately, go into character analysis and any thoughts or kind of theories that we have about books, characters, plots, etc.
And maybe play some fun games along the way.
Exactly.
So welcome and enjoy.
Lucien!
Okay, we're back. This is the first mini of the new season. Welcome back.
Yes.
To remind you, this is full of spoilers.
Yes.
Please don't listen if you haven't read through A Court of Silver Flames.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Today's topic
is Lucien. My fave.
Sarah's fave.
I know. I really don't even know why. Like, he really isn't in the books that much when I think about it. But I just love him.
He's doing a decent amount.
Yeah.
But you get good vibes from him.
I know. I just really like him.
I like that. Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Lucien's backstory.
Ugh. It's so heart-wrenching.
Yeah, let's start with the hard stuff and then go into the fun stuff.
Okay. So backstory. So basically, he's one of 5 brothers, right? There's 5 of them.
I feel like there's like 7 of them.
I don't know. He has
there's so many brothers.
He has a lot of older brothers.
Yes.
He's the youngest of a bunch of older brothers from the Autumn Court.
Yep.
And he didn't want to be in power, knew he wasn't going to be High Lord, so he kind of just wanted to do his own thing. So he like traveled to all the other courts when he was younger. He wound up dating and falling in love with a quote-unquote lesser fae, which I'm assuming is just like a normal fae, not a high fae. And his dad was like, heck no. So he had her slaughtered in front of him while he had to watch. His brothers held him down. They killed her in front of him.
So terrible.
Absolutely horrible. So he ran away to the Spring Court.
To his BFF Tamlin.
2 of his brothers came with. Tamlin killed one of the brothers. Lucien killed one of the brothers. So he's 2 brothers less. So I think there's now 4 brothers.
Maybe.
So yeah, I think they're right. I think there was like 7 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's been an emissary for the Spring Court ever since. It's heartbreaking.
Someone with that kind of story, it's just tragic. It's like, he couldn't have done anything differently.
No.
It's just the lot he was given, which is just so sad.
Yeah. Crabby dad.
Terrible brothers.
Yeah. Really just the worst family. His mom's like the only one that he likes and that really likes him.
Yeah.
Which, come to find out, the reason why she probably loves him the most is because he's not actually of the Autumn Court.
Yeah, okay. Even earlier backstory of Lucien. Helion's the baby daddy.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Helion is Day Court.
Yes.
So Lucien is actually the heir to the Day Court, the only one, because
Helion's not married to anybody.
He has no other kids. So Lucien is technically a High Lord, or soon to be High Lord potentially if, Helion dies.
And it's sheer luck that he inherited his mother's looks.
Yes.
Sheer luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he would have been killed for
so
sure
fast.
if his dad, realized otherwise.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the High Lord of Autumn Court has no idea that Lucien is not his son. Yeah. In theory, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm. But it makes sense why she would love him most.
Right, because she chose to...
He's the child of, an actual love that she has.
Yes.
It's so sweet.
I know. So, yeah, backstory to the backstory.
Right. So, it's we come to, the Spring Court, and he's just, that's his new home. He's doing his best to get by. He's with Tamlin through everything. Which is just, I think it's one of those things where it's, Tamlin helped him in that moment. So, it's, I feel like Lucien has this, sense of indebtedness to Tamlin.
Yeah, I think so.
What else? He has the eye.
Yes.
Which was because of Amarantha, right?
Yep, Amarantha's fault. So, and he got the golden eye, wasn't it from the Dawn Court?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody at the Dawn Court, made it. There's, a tinkerer lady over there that she made him that eye.
I'm curious to see how that looks in the TV
I know,
series.
I'll be so curious. Because I've seen, the fan art, and some of them, I don't really like the way they make it look, but I'm sure
Yeah.
they're gonna make it look good for TV, obviously.
Yeah.
Because he's
Just when I hear fake eye, I think Mad Eye Moody.
yeah, exactly. Always Harry Potter references, like, but like I'm thinking like this golden like orb thing that they've like stuck in his face. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. So
yeah,
I'm trying to think of anything else like in ACOTAR.
Okay, so the relationship between him and Farah.
Right. Starts off pretty rough. He hates her. Obviously,
Yes.
she killed his friend. So every reason to hate her.
Yeah.
And then he is disappointed in her because she leaves as like he realizes that like her and Tamlin are falling in love with each other.
Yeah.
And she leaves without saying that she loves him, which would have broken the curse.
Yeah.
So he's pissed. And then under the mountain,
Yeah.
she saves him by giving Amarantha her name.
I think that was like I think he was liking her.
Right.
But that was the point where he was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
like she's for real.
Right. She actually cares enough about me to save my life.
Yeah.
Even after she killed my friend.
Yeah.
So I think
like
that
she
was...
changed. And so like you saw so much in that first book of the two of them kind of like brushing against each other. And then I think finally the mountain really brought them together.
Yeah, because he heals her and then she saves both of their lives in the second task.
Right. I went through a lot and it's interesting. We talk a lot in Mist and Fury about how her and Tamlin are more disconnected in this book.
Right.
It's interesting how it's like almost like her and Lucien are the opposite.
Right.
They're closer in a weird way.
Yeah. He definitely realizes what she went through under the mountain and
Yeah.
sees what she's now suffering with in the Spring Court being back. So, and then I'm trying to think like...
This book it's interesting for him because after like she goes to the Night Court, he's basically hunting her.
Right.
Because he thinks that she's been taken.
Yeah.
And so he unfortunately is I think that's like obviously he's doing this for Tamlin.
Right.
But I think he was doing it for himself too because she's his friend and he wants to save her.
Yeah, because he doesn't actually know what happened.
Right.
She's just gone when he shows up. So I'm not mad at him. Like
for looking for her.
No, like I'm glad he went and
sense.
looked for her. Like it just sucks that he kind of becomes the bad guy to Farah.
He becomes the bearer of bad news to Tamlin first more than anything.
But yeah, I don't like that Farah sees him as not her friend anymore. Yeah. In this book.
Well, I mean, in her defense, he's siding with Tamlin this whole time.
Right.
He sided with Tamlin when she was in pain. He sided with Tamlin when he was looking for her. He sided with Tamlin when she told him, no, I'm done.
Right.
Like, Tamlin kept saying, like, it was a ruse, but, like, Lucien was there.
Right, he knew.
Lucien knew it was not a ruse, that she was done.
Right.
And so, in a lot of ways, he really, let her down.
I'm sure he did. But in his defense, again, it's like he is...
What was he supposed to do?
Right, he's between a rock and a hard place, as we said. It's like he's Tamlin's number one guy. Like, he is kind of in charge of everybody else in the Spring Court. Like, if he disobeys... Everybody disobeys. So it's all on Lucien's shoulders.
Yeah, he's in a terrible situation, but like
it just sucks.
He let her down. It sucks for like it's lose-lose.
And it's also like he's known Tamlin for how many hundreds of years.
Right, exactly.
And it's like I feel like his loyalty does lie with Tamlin, which it should. With somebody that,
But it makes sense why she would consider him to have failed her as a friend.
Yeah, I totally get it. I get it from both sides.
Yeah.
And
then there's the partnership with Highburn. At the end of that, they're tricked. Elaine goes into the cauldron. Elaine comes out, and he is mated with Elaine right off the bat.
He like instantly is just like, she's my mate.
How do you feel about their like mating situation?
So initially, I know we talked about this a little bit last season. Initially, I was so mad. I was like, no, I need Elaine and Asriel to get together. Yes. And I don't think at first like I was really mad because the third book hadn't come out yet and I hadn't really seen Elaine kind of interact with Oz. Yeah. So at first I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. But then like as I wanted Elaine to be with Oz, I was like, no, like why is Lucien the mate? But now I kind of like it. Well, I don't know if like's the right word. Yeah. But I'm way more open to it now. Like I don't think Elaine and Oz are meant to be mated. Yeah. So I think there's potential that Lucien will find happiness with Elaine.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he does, because I just want him to be happy, especially after like all the trauma that he's been dealt.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting that Elaine would be his mate.
Right.
But obviously, like, Nesta and Lucien would never be good together. Like, that wouldn't have worked.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know, Elaine's an interesting choice. And, like, obviously we don't know much about her yet. Like, I'm still waiting for the next book to come out. But I could see the potential there of, like, this, like, sweet, loving, just kind human being being a good balance for Lucien. And, like, he deserves someone that is like that.
No, I agree. My first thought was, like, oh, we're just whipping mates out left and right, are we? Like, it felt a little cheesy to bring mates up right away. And, like, I had a friend who texted me about that, too. It was just like, really? We're bringing mates up already? But I'm like, this is such an interesting dynamic of, it's like, this cauldron says you're good for each other, but what if you don't know you're good for each other?
Right.
So it's like, we heard about this in theory, but we get to kind of see it play out. So it's a really cool, like, new storyline, I think.
Yeah. And I like that. I think also, like, we were initially told that Lucien is her mate, so that everybody wouldn't just be, so that it creates almost more drama for, like, the Osriel, like, Lucien, like, who's she gonna be with kind of thing. Because otherwise, I don't think it would have been a big deal, because Lucien wouldn't have hung around the Night Court. He wouldn't have, like, chosen to help Feyre escape from, like, Spring Court.
Totally.
Had Elaine up in his mate.
Yeah.
So, like, he wouldn't have come with her. Like, everything would have been different. So I think she had to have been his mate right away. Otherwise, everything wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So.
It was an interesting moment, too, like, that it happened so instantaneously.
Right.
I love how sweet Lucien is to Elaine.
Yes.
Through it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Obviously, Elaine's been through so much, and he's her mate, so he cares for her. But I appreciate him, like, giving her space, like, trying to meet her needs, whatever they are. Like, he's dealing with Asriel kind of leaning in, and that being a little hard for him.
Yeah.
So I appreciated him kind of putting her needs first.
Yeah.
Which I think when they alluded to, like, when a Fae male is like in that mating bond, they become crazy protective.
Right.
And so the fact that he was letting her do that showed a really strong sense of, like, self-control that I appreciated.
Yeah.
You know?
And also I think it's interesting because a mate is an equal. So currently Elaine is, like, kind of, I don't want to say nothing, but she doesn't really have a purpose. She's not really in anything. Yeah. And so, I mean, Lucien is technically going to be a High Lord, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He's
like, clever as anything.
He's the Spring Court's, like, emissary. So he's, like, number 2 in Spring Court. He's number 2 in Dawn Court, or Day Court. He's number, I don't know, like 5 in Autumn, number 5 in Autumn Court.
That's a lot of power there.
He has a lot of power, and that means Elaine's his equal. Even if, like, she doesn't love him.
Yeah.
She's his equal. So, like, I see her rising and doing something, like, big. Like, she's going to be powerful.
It's interesting how it alludes to that.
Yeah. I know. And it's also interesting that he's choosing to love her because, like, mates don't have to love each other. Like, his parents. Yeah. And, like, Tamlin's parents. It's like they don't really love each other. Like,
I don't think his parents were mates, but
yeah.
You're right. They don't have to.
No, but he acts like he loves her even though he doesn't really know her and she's not really giving him much of a chance. So I just think that's interesting that he's, like, on the lovey-dovey side of mating.
Yeah. He's got that soft side.
I know.
Right before he finally gets back to the Night Court, though, he's with Spy Feyre in the Spring Court, and I don't think he believed her for a second.
I don't think so at all.
He was totally like, He's too clever to fall for her shit.
He is. That's why he's a fox.
He is the fox. But I thought it was, I don't know, cool that, like, in the end, like, we talked about how he was caught between a rock and a hard place for so long.
Yep.
He did choose Feyre almost in the end. Partially because of Elaine. Yep. But even still, like, that must have been so hard for him to leave Tamlin in that moment.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So, interesting, like, growth there. And then, let's see. In Wings and Ruin, what's he doing? Oh, he goes to the continent to try and get help for the war.
Oh, yeah.
Ends up bringing back her dad.
Yes.
which is
interesting.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that all worked together really nicely.
I know. Strange turn of events.
Yeah. But, so he wasn't, like, super present in Wings of Ruin?
No, I don't really remember him being much in that book.
But I think, you know, at the end, he is stuck with the consequences of leaving Tamlin and going after his mate. Mm-hmm. And so that relationship is obviously going to be very tense for a while. Yeah. Because Tamlin feels betrayed, I'm sure.
He should.
Yeah. Because he was betrayed.
He was, yeah.
So, anywho. And then we don't really get much of him in Silver Flames, do we?
No, I feel like Silver Flames is...
He's kind of just, like, quietly continuing trying to connect with Elaine.
Yeah, I feel like he shows up, like, whenever they do, like, holidays and, like, gift exchanges.
Yeah.
Like, and he's always so, like, nice. Like,
he's trying so hard.
He really does. He just sits there, like, gives her space, like, doesn't... He's just really sweet.
So, I really hope these next books...
I know.
Bring some joy for him.
I hope so.
He deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Asriel deserves it too, but he also deserves it.
I know.
Oh, so hard. Your two favorite people are both pining after Elaine. Isn't that funny? Because you hate her.
I know.
So ironic. All right. Yeah. Anything else about Lucien?
I don't think so. I think that's
all right.
Good summary of him.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Any thoughts? Feelings?
Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next week for more Court of Mist and Fury. Thank you so much for listening to A Court of Fairies and Fangirls, a Sarah J. Maas fan podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and let us know what you think.
You can find us on Instagram at Fairies and Fangirls. Jump in on the conversation, and we look forward to chatting with you more next week. Bye!
Bye!